My friends, if you think you're free just because you can clock out at 5 p.m., think again. Real freedom is not found in employment. Real freedom is the ability to wake up on your own terms, to dream without limits, to build without permission. And that only begins when you become the master of your own fate, by starting your own business. Every successful business begins not with money, talent, or timing, but with purpose. And not just any purpose, a definite one. Napoleon Hill taught that definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. It is the foundation upon which empires are built, fortunes are earned, and legacies are formed. Without it, no amount of hard work or enthusiasm can create lasting success. You can be incredibly busy, but if you're not busy doing what matters to your definite goal, then your effort is misplaced and your time is wasted. A person without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder, drifting directionless and doomed to crash or circle endlessly. Most people live reactively. They chase jobs, chase promotions, chase trips. But the moment they hit an obstacle, they retreat because they lack a compelling why to push them forward. Definite purpose eliminates that confusion. It clarifies your aim and gives you the resilience to fight through storms. When you start a business, the first thing you must ask yourself is not a what can I sell or how much money can I make, but a why am I building this? That purpose must be personal. It must be emotional. It must come from a deep part of your soul, because your purpose will be tested. There will be days when customers disappear, when your bank balance scares you, when everyone thinks you've lost your mind. On those days only, a burning purpose will keep you going. Hill made it clear successful men and women fix their entire energy, mental and physical, on one definite aim. They do not scatter their focus or wander from idea to idea. They pick one goal and pour everything they have into it. This singularity of intention has power. It builds momentum. It attracts opportunity. It awakens the mind's hidden potential. Because when the mind knows what it wants, it begins to find paths, even where none seem to exist. Definiteness of purpose doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward in spite of it. When you define your purpose, it becomes your anchor. It holds you steady when the world gets chaotic. If your purpose is strong enough, the how will find its way to you. Most people make the mistake of starting with strategy and end with burnout. You must begin with vision and drive all things from that core. Many people fail because they want too many things at once. They want freedom, but they also want comfort. They want to build something, but they also want instant rewards. Purpose demands sacrifice. If you truly know why you're building your business, you'll say no to distractions. You'll wake up earlier. You'll read more, listen more, endure more. You'll surround yourself with better influences. You'll let go of toxic environments. Why? Because your purpose demands it. Your definite purpose must be so clear that you can write it down in a single sentence. If you can't, you don't truly know what you're building. Vagueness kills dreams. Precision revives them. Clarity produces energy. When you are definite about your purpose, you'll find that discipline becomes natural. Effort becomes enjoyable. The obstacles become smaller. It no longer feels like work. It feels like a mission. Napoleon Hill reminded us that the human mind is capable of achieving anything it can conceive and believe, but only if it is backed by a clear purpose and a burning desire. Your business must be an expression of that desire. It must be more than a means to money. It must be a vehicle for impact, a reflection of your identity, a pursuit worth sacrificing for. Only then can it offer you the true freedom you seek. Faith is the foundation of all success. It is not mere hope or shallow optimism. It is a deep, unshakable belief in a vision that has not yet become visible to the world. Napoleon Hill made it clear that faith is the only known antidote to failure. Without it, no plan can survive the pressure of obstacles. Without it, no man or woman can rise above the limitations of doubt, fear, or discouragement. When you start your own business, especially in a world that favors security over self-reliance, you will find yourself standing alone with your vision. It is in these moments that faith must carry you. There will be no applause in the beginning. There will be no guarantees. You may even lose money, time, and comfort. But if the vision you hold is true, if the purpose you carry is strong, then you must protect it with unwavering belief. Faith is not believing when everything is going well. It's believing even when everything is falling apart. It's the quiet confidence that says, this is worth it, even when there's no external evidence to prove you right. Hill described faith as the head chemist of the mind. It mixes with your thoughts and transforms them into spiritual energy. This energy shapes your habits, decisions, and attitude. Eventually, it shapes your reality. Most people allow their beliefs to be determined by their circumstances. If something looks difficult, they stop believing. If someone doubts them, they shrink. If success doesn't come fast, they quit. That's not faith. Faith is internal. It is not borrowed from books or copied from others. It must be planted, nurtured, and fiercely protected from negativity. It must be reaffirmed daily through affirmations, visualization, and conscious self-talk. When you feed your mind with faith, you build mental muscles that can lift any challenge. In the early days of your business, others may mock your dream. They may point out your lack of resources, your inexperience, your failures. Let them. Their doubt is not your responsibility. Your belief is. Hill warned that the majority of people are easily influenced by the opinions of others. This is a fatal mistake. The moment you allow outside opinions to shape your inner beliefs, you have surrendered control of your vision must live inside you so vividly that you can feel it before you see it. You must speak about it as if it's already real, because eventually it will be. Faith is also the force that drives action. When you believe, you act. When you act, you build momentum. And with momentum comes results. Even small progress builds confidence, and confidence strengthens faith. It is a self-reinforcing cycle, but the first spark always comes from the great entrepreneurs, inventors, and creators in history all operated on faith long before their ideas became accepted or profitable. They were ridiculed, resisted, and rejected until they were right. What made them different was not just their talent or strategy, but their relentless belief in what they were doing. If you do not yet believe fully in your own business idea, don't wait passively for confidence to arrive. Train your mind. Read your goals every morning. Visualize the end result with clarity. Speak affirmations aloud. Associate only with people who lift your belief, not drain it. Faith is a muscle. It strengthens with use and atrophies with neglect. Each time you trust your vision and act boldly, you prove to yourself that you are becoming the person worthy of the success you seek. You must become the person who deserves the dream, not just desires it. Faith is what bridges that gap. It gives you access to courage in the face of fear, endurance in the face of setbacks, and clarity when others are lost in confusion. In business, as in life, those who win are not always the most gifted, but the most believing. Specialized knowledge is one of the most powerful forces in building a successful business, yet it is often misunderstood or overlooked. Napoleon Hill emphasized that general education, no matter how extensive, will not bring you riches or real success. What you need is specific, actionable knowledge applied with intention and focus. Specialized knowledge is the kind that directly solves problems, creates value, and positions you as an authority in your chosen field. It is the knowledge that is tied to purpose and directed toward a goal. The great misconception is that having a degree or a title equates to being knowledgeable. But in the marketplace, your value is determined not by credentials, but by results. What can you build? What can you teach others to do better or faster? These questions are what separate the dreamers from the doers. When you start your own business, you step into a world where execution matters far more than theory. That's why our first responsibility is not to impress, but to learn. Study your industry. Obsession. Know your customer better than they know themselves. Dive deep into the mechanics, the pain points, the trends, and the gaps that others overlook. That's where your opportunity lies. Hill made it clear that specialized knowledge does not have to come from formal schooling. It can come from experience, observation, or association. What matters is that the knowledge is useful and directed. Many of the most successful business people never finished college, but they became masters of a craft, experts in a niche, or innovators in a space that others ignored. They paid attention where others were distracted. They went deep where others skimmed the surface. And that depth is what created their wealth. In a noisy world full of surface-level information, the person who goes deep becomes the trusted voice. Specialized knowledge builds credibility. And credibility leads to influence. When people begin to recognize you as someone who truly understands a specific topic or industry, they will come to you for guidance, solutions, and leadership. That's how businesses grow, through trust, authority, and results. But none of those things happen without the foundation of deep, specialized knowledge. One of the most powerful advantages of gaining specialized knowledge is the ability to simplify complex problems. When you truly understand something, you can explain it clearly, and solve it efficiently. This becomes your superpower. People will pay you not for how much you know, but for how effectively you can make their lives better. That's what specialized knowledge allows you to do, turn insight into impact. And the better you get at that, the more valuable your business becomes. It's also important to remember that specialized knowledge must be continuously updated. In a world that evolves rapidly, yesterday's expertise can become today's irrelevance. That's why you must remain a student of your industry. Read daily, study trends, learn from mentors and competitors. Never assume that what worked before will work forever. The hunger to grow must never fade. If you stay curious and humble, your knowledge will expand with time, and your business will adapt and thrive. You must also learn to apply your specialized knowledge creatively. Knowing something is not enough. It's how you use what you know that matters. Specialized knowledge is not a limitation. It's a gateway to mastery. It narrows your focus so you can go further faster. It turns your business into a solution engine, and it turns you into a leader in your space. Persistence is the iron quality of character that separates those who wish from those who achieve. Napoleon Hill observed that persistence is to character what carbon is to steel. It is the element that hardens resolve, tempers desire, and gives shape to the dreams of those who refuse to quit. Every person who has ever built something lasting has been tested, and it was not brilliance or luck that saw them through. It was persistence. The truth is that your freedom will not be handed to you. It will be challenged, delayed, resisted, and even ridiculed. And the price for attaining it is often paid in repeated failure, disappointment, and rejection. But those who endure, who rise again when they fall, who advance one more step when others retreat, those are the ones who earn true independence. When you start a business, especially one that stems from your passion and purpose, you will face resistance. It may not come in the form you expect. It could be the silence of customers who don't respond, the loneliness of building alone, the sting of criticism from family or friends, or the weight of financial strain when progress is slow. All of it is part of the test. The world will ask, how badly do you want this? And your answer will not be in words, but in your persistence. When others fold under pressure, you must stand firm. When others change direction at the first sign of discomfort, you must push forward with greater intensity. Hill noted that the majority of people are ready to abandon their plans at the first sign of opposition. But opposition is the very crucible in which success is forged. Every setback carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater advantage, but only if you persist long enough to uncover it. The person who refuses to quit cannot be defeated. They may be delayed, but not denied. The key is to make persistence a habit, not an occasional effort. Discipline is not something that shows up only when you feel inspired. It's something that is practiced even when inspiration is nowhere in sight. You must act daily, consistently, and with purpose, even when the results don't immediately reflect your efforts. Many entrepreneurs fail not because their ideas are flawed, but because their endurance is weak. They expect fast success in a world that rewards long-term commitment. They chase excitement instead of developing resilience. But the truth is, mastery takes time. Trust takes time. Reputation takes time. You cannot plant seeds today and harvest fruit tomorrow. There is a season for sowing, watering, and waiting, and persistence is what keeps you going through each stage. It teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches you to trust the process, even when you cannot see the outcome. You will need to draw strength, not just from external motivation, but from internal conviction. That conviction is rooted in your purpose and powered by your decision to never give up. You must see yourself not as someone merely trying, but as someone committed to succeeding, no matter how long it takes. That shift in identity changes everything. When you become a person of persistence, setbacks become stepping stones.
Criticism becomes feedback. Failure becomes a teacher.
And every day you endure, you move one step closer to your goal. Persistence also strengthens belief. Every time you press forward despite discomfort, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That proof builds confidence, and confidence builds momentum. It becomes easier to persist when you've made persistence a personal standard. You begin to expect obstacles, And instead of fearing them, you prepare for them. Instead of retreating, you adjust your strategy. The mountain may be high, but the climber who never stops will always reach the top. No man achieves greatness alone, and no one builds true freedom in isolation. Napoleon Hill introduced the concept of the mastermind with great urgency and clarity, not as a suggestion, but as a requirement for success. The mastermind is the alliance of two or more minds working in perfect harmony toward a definite purpose. It is the blending of thoughts, energy, insights, and experience into something far more powerful than any individual. If you truly desire to build a business that creates freedom, freedom of time, freedom of money, and freedom of purpose, then you must surround yourself with a team, not just of workers, but of minds aligned in belief and ambition. Most people fail not because they lack intelligence, resources, or even desire, but because they attempt to climb the mountain alone. They fear asking for help. They resist collaboration, or they surround themselves with people who do not challenge or elevate them. The mastermind principle forces you to rise above ego and open yourself to the synergy of aligned thought. It is not just about working with others. It is about working with the right others. Those who share your values, fuel your confidence, sharpen your ideas, and hold you accountable to your highest standards. These people may not always agree with you, and they shouldn't. Their role is not to echo your thoughts, but to expand your thinking. He'll explain that when two minds come together in harmony, a third invisible force is created. A sort of spiritual or intellectual energy that neither could produce alone. This is the magic of the mastermind. It is the source of innovation, clarity, and strength when your own willpower runs thin. When you are tired, your mastermind partners remind you of your purpose. When you are stuck, they bring new strategies. When you lose sight of the vision, they help you restore. In a world filled with noise, fear, and distraction, the mastermind creates a protective circle of power where growth is not only possible, but inevitable. Every great business has been built by collaboration, even if one person gets the credit. Behind every visionary is a group of people who supported, challenged, and contributed to the vision. You must seek out such people with intention. Build relationships with those who are already where you want to go. Join networks, attend events, and add value before you ask for anything. People of power respect those who take initiative. Be humble enough to learn and bold enough to lead. The mastermind principle also serves as a mirror. It reflects your blind spots, your patterns, and your excuses. In solitude, it is easy to deceive yourself. But in the presence of truth-tellers, you are called to higher integrity. This is uncomfortable, but it is also necessary. Growth cannot happen in comfort. The right mastermind partners won't let you settle. They will push you to take bigger risks, make smarter moves, and remain aligned with your definite purpose. You must also consider the energy of the people you include in your circle. Doubt is contagious, but so is belief. Fear is prickly, but so does courage. Choose wisely. Your mastermind must be a sanctuary of faith, resilience, and action. If your circle drains you, you must upgrade it. Your freedom depends on it. You are not meant to carry the entire load alone. You are meant to lead, to collaborate, and to multiply your strength through alignment. The greatest empires were not built by lone wolves, but by leaders who understood the power of unity. The mastermind is the quiet force behind every great achievement. It is where ideas are born, tested, and perfected. It is where leaders are refined. If you want to build lasting freedom through your business, find your circle, invest in it, and protect it. Because together, you will go farther, faster, and with more clarity than you ever could alone. Decision is the gateway through which all achievements pass. Without decision, dreams remain in the realm of imagination. Goals stay written on paper, and businesses never move beyond ideas. Napoleon Hill discovered through decades of studying the world's most successful people that decisiveness was one of their defining traits. They made decisions quickly and changed them rarely, if ever. In contrast, those who failed were often paralyzed by indecision, endlessly weighing options, seeking perfect timing, and waiting for certainty that never arrived. In business and in life, the ability to decide to act with finality and conviction is what separates those who move forward from those who remain stuck. Starting your own business demands hundreds of decisions, both large and small. From choosing your niche, pricing your product, selecting partners, hiring your first team members, launching your first campaign, and evolving your strategy, every step forward is a decision. Yet many people hesitate. They want proof before commitment. They seek guarantees in an uncertain world. But the truth is, the only guarantee is that indecision will rob you of time, energy, and opportunity. The longer you hesitate, the more momentum you lose. The longer you analyze, the more you doubt. The world doesn't wait for those who are unsure. It rewards those who step forward in faith. Hill emphasized that procrastination, the enemy of decision, is the most common cause of failure. People hide behind endless research, behind the opinions of others, behind excuses disguised as logic. But every delay is a vote for the status quo. Every moment you wait is a moment lost. Progress demands motion, and motion begins with a decision. Not a perfect one, but a firm one. You do not need to have all the answers to begin. You simply need to commit. Course correction is always possible, but you cannot steer a ship that remains docked at the shore. Strong decisions signal to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that you're serious. They create a sense of internal alignment. The moment you decide, the mind sharpens, the will strengthens, and energy begins to flow toward the goal. You begin to attract people, resources, and opportunities that match your level of clarity. This is why indecision is so damaging, not just practically, but spiritually. It fragments your energy and invites doubt. But decision creates harmony within and influence without. People follow those who are certain. Customers buy from those who project confidence. Teams rally around those who lead with clarity. Success becomes possible the moment hesitation ends. It is important to understand that making a decision does not eliminate fear. In fact, many of your most powerful decisions will come while you are afraid. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the face of it. Hill wrote that successful people make up their minds quickly and change them slowly, if at all. This kind of decisiveness is not arrogance. It is rooted in a clear understanding of purpose. When you know why you are doing something, decision becomes easier. Purpose simplifies choice. It helps you filter distractions, ignore noise, and stay true to your mission. Every time you make a strong decision, you reclaim power. You take ownership of your direction. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the author of your path. This is what it means to build your own business, not just financially, but mentally and spiritually. Napoleon Hill didn't just offer a philosophy. He offered a blueprint for transforming desire into tangible success. If you're tired of waiting for the right time, if you're done trading your potential for safety, then now is the time to act. Act. The world is overflowing with opportunity for those who are willing to think differently, believe deeply, and move boldly. Your business is not just a path to wealth. It's a path to self-discovery, purpose, and the kind of life most only dream about. Along the journey, you'll be tested. You'll face doubt, setbacks, and sacrifice. But you will also find strength, creativity, and connection in ways you never imagined. Freedom is not found in comfort. It's forged in decision, strengthened through persistence, and realized through collaboration and focused knowledge. The real question is not whether you're ready. The question is whether you're willing to stop hesitating and start building. Because everything you want, every ounce of freedom, fulfillment, and impact begins with a single choice to begin. This is your invitation. Step forward. Lead what only you can. The time